What is going on, everybody? Paul here, coming at you with a news update. I was reading one of my favorite sources, Zero Hedge, and came across some relevant articles for crypto that I figured I would bring to y'all's attention and we can discuss. First, join me in our simultaneous sip. A little too late in the day for coffee, so let's do some hot tea. Works just as well as decaf. Alright, so first things first, the escalating trade war between the United States and the rest of the world. China basically said to the United States, we will outlast you as the trade war significantly escalates, according to Zero Hedge. It specifically involves, where is it at? Telecommunications, tech and telecommunications specifically. It seems the United States wants to restrict some Chinese companies' ability to sell telecommunications equipment in the U.S., and this comes on the heels of the EU President Jean-Claude Juncker, Drunker Juncker, guy who's always drinking, saying that he would like unconditional and permanent U.S. tariff exemptions, which is kind of an unrealistic expectation, but nonetheless starting with a strong negotiating point, and China's turning up the heat as well. What's interesting is the fact that this does involve telecommunications equipment, because that's been a hot button issue for a while now. Back in 2014, there was a big scare about possible backdoors in Chinese manufactured routers. Essentially what they would do is they would allow certain ports to be accessible with little to no security protocol. You can kind of just waltz right in, and it's not the sort of thing you would check for unless... Why is this person here? Go away. It's not the sort of thing you would really check for unless, you were looking for it. There's thousands of these ports, so, don't check port 2964 specifically. Why would you do that unless you knew it was there? So there's a big stink about that. And shortly after, in 2014, same year, Glenn Greenwald exposed that the NSA was basically doing the same thing in the United States. So it appears that no router is safe, and various security apparati around the world, various security apparatuses around the world take the opportunity presented to them in the manufacturing step of the process. Essentially, things like the NSA and China, it seems as well, kind of tries to get that little leg up. For more information about that, head over to routersecurity.org. It's run by this gentleman, Michael Horowitz. It is a fantastic source for so much information about how routers work and really how unsecure a lot of the public domains that we have are. Realistically, he brings up some excellent examples in some of his conferences, and some of the conference centers he goes to have really, really poorly secured internet. So this could help you in your personal life as well. So something to take a look at. Next article, Hong Kong. Speaking of China, Hong Kong government confirms Bitcoin possesses only a medium-low risk in financial crime, which is great. A huge talking point touted by governments worldwide is that Bitcoin is used in money laundering, terrorism funding, and all kinds of horrible criminal activities, but it turns out there's really not too much of an issue with that, rather more of a medium-low risk kind of issue compared to what governments make it out to be, which is, if they had it their way, you'd believe that Bitcoin was used for almost exclusively black market drug deals and that sort of thing. Now, the report does mention the use of cryptocurrencies in Ponzi schemes and cybercrime, so here's another BitConnect shout out, along with a bunch of other stuff. And specifically, they mentioned the WannaCry attack. We've seen a lot of various companies that end up getting this malware on their computer, and what do the hackers demand? They demand Bitcoin. So that's that doesn't make it look too good, but that's kind of a hacker thing, not really a Bitcoin itself thing. So this is good news coming out of Hong Kong. Next up, we have a ongoing crisis in Venezuela, just a humanitarian crisis of epic proportions because of this gentleman here, Nicolas Maduro. He is the dictator of Venezuela, and he recently launched the cryptocurrency, if it can even be called that, the Petro. And it seems that Venezuela has offered India a 30%, very, very steep discount on oil if it pays in Petro. Or crypto in general, it looks like. So that's a very interesting development. Hey, get out of here, big head. It's a very interesting development. I tried to track down the source. I tracked it down all the way to first oil price and then to Business Standard. Business Standard basically says, sources said Venezuela offers India a 30% discount. All of these hot links you see here over at Business Standard simply link internally. You see here, Business Standard, results for Coin Secure. So they don't offer any explicit source for where they get this information other than various sources. So take that with a grain of salt. It is a really steep discount. 30% is huge, but given that they are an economically impoverished dictatorship at this point, run by this this psychopath here, yeah, it's not too crazy unrealistic, but again, just take it with a grain of salt. The actual development of the El Petro, as it's being called, was just a a disaster. It was insane. Essentially, what they wanted to do is they wanted to launch an ERC20 token. The Spanish version of the white paper still reflects that plan. Additionally, an ERC20 token called the Petro was created, and you can see that here on Etherscan. It exists, but it's only held up in 5 addresses, so that's pretty crazy. Strangely enough, though, it turns out that they didn't use the ERC20 token. They switched it over to the NEM chain shortly after that. NEM confirmed this, saying the NEM technology is freely open to any individual or organization. They abstain from political endorsements, but they can confirm that Venezuela is indeed using the NEM blockchain. So there's 2 Petros. Actually, there's a third one, the petrodollar, which is completely unrelated. We covered that in the Crypto Coffee update. It's all a huge price spike right before the actual El Petro cryptocurrency from Venezuela came out, so that was kind of humorous. But what's not humorous is how this is being used to essentially continue to rob people and exploit the people of Venezuela. It's a no laughing matter. It's absolutely a humanitarian crisis, and the token sale is a complete disaster as well. You can see here JavaScript errors, disallowing you to even purchase the token, whether it be on the ERC20 chain or the NEM mosaic, who knows. Vitalik even said, particularly, I recall the white paper saying it doesn't offer any oil, it offers bolivars based on the price of oil. They actually chose $60 a barrel, which is pretty high. And on top of the risk of total default, it gives them the opportunity to do a partial default by manipulating the official bolivar rate, which they have a history of doing. And this is just lay of the land with governments. This is the exact reason cryptocurrencies exist. Not so that governments themselves can use this technology to continually exploit the working populace, but so that we have an auditable monetary system that disallows for any kind of corruption or fraud from people like Maduro, just like Vitalik is talking about, by manipulating the official rate, defaulting entirely, and that sort of thing. You're basically buying the sovereign debt of a cartel when you purchase a government-backed cryptocurrency. You can see that here with the Marshall Islands. They want to issue a sovereign crypto token. You're basically buying their debt. You're giving your hard-earned money to a government that has the right to issue more of these tokens, more of these bonds, and has zero historical precedent for making good on their promises. It is one of the most risky investments, and in my opinion, the entire reason cryptocurrency is in such a surge in general, because we're getting away from that kind of thing. So while this may seem on the surface like a beneficial development, it's really, really dubious at best and pretty nefarious, as you can see here with the debacle that is the Venezuelan petro. So just some relevant information wanted to cover for you guys today. Got all of this from Zero Hedge and branched out from there. So fantastic stuff. Go ahead and check out routersecurity.org and check out my guy, Michael Horowitz. Super awesome dude. Really knows his stuff about router security, man. Let me tell you, it's something worth checking out. If you're going to be in cryptocurrency, that's my 2 cents. It's better to take your security into your own hands than trust a third-party source. Always do your own research. None of this is financial advice, of course. I'm just a voice on the internet trying to spread the good word for you guys. Let me know what you think of this kind of content below, down in the comments. I'll put all the links in the description as well, so you have access to everything you saw here today. Like, share, subscribe. Check us out on the Discord or at cryptide.cc, or shoot me an email at paul@cryptide.cc. I'll talk to you guys next time.